Okay, what got you interested in coaching?
I've been watching your YouTube content for quite a while, and
I'm
it's
so
helped me
sorry.
out a lot.
Thanks, appreciate
uh,
it.
it's helped me out quite a bit, and I figured I could get some one-on-one
Sure,
just help to push myself that extra bit further.
sure. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, so how long have you been playing Overwatch? When did you start?
I started really late in Overwatch 1, like season 30.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing a lot since Overwatch 2 came out.
Yep.
I've probably put 150 hours into Overwatch 2 already.
Nice.
So
What do you think of it so far?
I like it more than Overwatch 1, but
Why is that?
I definitely think there's things that could be better. I don't have to deal with a second tank peeling the supports as much.
Ah, so you're a DPS player. I can smell it.
That I am.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. What are some things that you think could be improved on?
My positioning, especially mid-fight.
Okay, makes sense. Well, what do you what do you think is things that could be improved on in the game? I guess specifically.
Well, what do you mean?
Like you were saying, I definitely think there's some things in Overwatch 2 that could be improved.
Oh, I thought you meant like my
No,
gameplay. Balancing
Okay.
is something that has been annoying.
Well, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on balance. What about the balance specifically?
Moreover, how long they took to nerf characters like Sojourn and Hog.
Yep. Agreed there. Okay. Well, you're a hit scan player.
That I am.
Okay. Why? What got you? What did you start on the hit scan train?
I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike. Then after that, when Valorant came out, I played that for a long time, and I really got into the aim training community.
Mm-hmm.
So I then started playing Overwatch a bunch. So naturally, characters like Ashe and Soldier started poking out to me a lot.
Sure.
Who I've been really enjoying playing.
Sure.
So,
Okay. Makes sense. Looking through here. Okay, so what do you hope to get out of the session? And you said better insight and understanding of reading enemies and positioning accordingly. Elaborate on that, please.
essentially, what I want to be able to do, I want to see how and where the enemies are playing and better be able to take angles to either force them out of where they're playing or to force a lot of utility out from them to keep their position.
Okay, makes sense. So just kind of dynamically positioning around what you're seeing, essentially. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense. Let's keep looking through this form here. So long-term, short-term goals in Overwatch. You say my main short-term goal is to improve my positioning mid-fight. Well, sounds familiar. And then long-term goals are to hit Grandmaster and hit scan. Where are you at right now?
I actually just hit Masters 5 yesterday.
Congratulations.
So,
very good. Do you have a replay code for me?
I have two, actually.
All right.
You want them both or just one?
Throw them both in here. Why not?
I bet.
Are they both the same hero or are they different heroes?
They're both, I think I play Soldier, Ashe, and Tracer in each one of them.
Okay,
and
perfect.
They're very close games each time.
Okay, well, we'll get to update my UI to Masters, so that's good. Just pull up this one as well. Okay, so got your goals. Congratulations. What is your training looking like right now? How much do you play? How often do you play? What heroes do you play primarily, and so on?
It mostly is up to my work schedule because I work full time and I'm in college.
Got it.
So any days I get out of work early, I'll get on Overwatch, and I play a lot on the weekends mostly. So usually 3-ish days a week.
Okay.
4 hours a day.
Okay, so you're 3 times 4. You're not able to play whatsoever on the other 4 days. I'm being a little bit harsh here, but
I do, but it's not. I won't get good practice because I'm just too tired from work.
Okay, fair enough. How much do you play if I were to ask you, like specifically on those days?
I'll just mess around in like quick play or open queue, off rolling for like an hour.
Okay, fair enough. If you depending on how serious you are about improvement, if you're able to even just pull like one game out on those days in ranked queue, even if you are tired, that would probably be something to at least try. If you really find that I'm so tired those days, like the practice is really bad, then obviously maybe it's not worth. But like I would at least try and see just to make doubly sure, because even just like one game could be helpful, but that would something I'd be experimenting with. But yeah, I get it. So we have 3 days, 4 hours, and then I mean it's not optimal, but it's the best that you can do. So it is what it is. Okay, so let's keep going here. And then when you are playing Ashe, Soldier, Tracer, is that like consistently the only ones that you're playing? Do you play anything else? Because we want to make sure that we have a decent hero pool, especially with the amount of time that you're playing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
I'll go Widow occasionally on Widowmaker maps, and sometimes, rarely, I'll switch to a different character if our team really needs it. Like if we're getting rolled by a brawl, I'll go Pharah,
Okay.
something like
Okay.
that.
Okay.
But it's
Okay.
not consistent enough to matter.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Um. Yeah, getting Grandmaster and hit scan might be tough with the amount of time that you're able to play, with the consistency that you're able to play. So, what I would try and do is, as like short-term goals, is to remove any outlier that you can to like cut any fat where you can. Do you warm up?
Yes.
Okay, what do you do for warm up?
Usually I'll do about 20 minutes of Kovacs just to warm up my hand.
Okay.
Then I'll run into Vaxta and just
Okay.
again practice just in engine movement, mirroring, anti-mirroring.
Sure.
And then
Okay. Fair enough. And then
15,
jump.
20 minutes of try hard FFA.
Okay. Okay. You might want to be able to cut down on that time a little bit if you can. Even if you have a decent amount of time, I don't think anyone really should need an hour of warm up unless you're specifically aim training, and in which case you probably should be doing try hard. iOS actually released. I don't know if you saw the new aim training code that he's developed recently.
I actually did not.
Yeah, check that one out on his YouTube channel. And I haven't tried it out extensively, but it looks interesting, at least worth experimenting with. So I'd recommend giving that one a check as well. But yeah, I think definitely you could probably be a little bit more efficient with your time there. And like I said, if we're really trying to get to Grandmaster, it's going to be about efficiency with your time, cutting slack where we can.
More of a like half an hour warm up.
Yeah, something like that would be good. Yep. And then in addition with that, I would consider at least experimenting with the single game during your work days just to see how it goes. If it goes poorly, then, okay, whatever. We don't want bad practice, but I think it's at least worth experimenting with. It can't hurt, okay, at least to try. Okay, and then in terms of hero pool, like you said, it doesn't happen enough to be relevant, but just try to make sure it's Soldier Tracer Ashe, right? I think 3 heroes is definitely pushing the limit a little bit for somebody who's playing only around 12 hours, I guess, 13 hours a week. But it can fly as long as you're super, super, super disciplined with what you're doing. Okay, do you have any questions with any of that?
No.
Okay. Well, we can live with what we're doing. We just need to make sure that we're doing as good as we possibly can. Let's keep going here. Sleep looks good. We're cruising through this here. Okay, one of the replays I have.
Oh,
what is it?
I was gonna say I'm not the maniac I used to be, staying up late, get like 6
good,
hours sleep and go to school.
Yeah, good. Anything additionally, like Spot to know, one of the replays I have is a high GM lobby, and I want to have one reviewed.
Actually, I decided not to use that one.
Fair enough. But you sent me one from 4 days ago. Is there something specific that happened in this Kings Row game?
It was just a really close game where I went on Tracer, and I want Tracer feedback as well.
Got it.
That's my weakest of those 3 characters.
Got it. Okay, what's your breakdown of those heroes in terms of hours played this season? Do you have your account that you could pull up here?
Pull it up real quick. I know I've got about 12 hours on Soldier and 4 on Ashe, I think. I'll pull it up real quick though. Most of it's on Soldier because he's just my comfort pick.
Okay.
But yeah, that game I was talking about, the GM game, I ended up queuing into a lobby with Warren and SK on my team. And
That'll do it.
Somehow we won that game.
Well
done. 11 hours on Soldier, 6 on Tracer, 5 on Ashe. A lot of that Tracer is probably inflated from open queue though.
Okay. I will say that you just need to be careful about having too much discrepancy between those heroes, because you're like, oh, well, Soldier's my comfort pick. Well, Soldier's going to remain your comfort pick, right? If you continue to put in hours like that, and it's actually only going to get essentially, if you want your Ashe Tracer to be on par or close to par with your Soldier, then really those numbers should be flipped. You kind of see what I'm saying? So it just depends on, like, do you want to be the Soldier specialist that occasionally has a niche pick of Ashe Tracer, or how serious are you about getting better at Ashe Tracer? There's nothing wrong with having a specialty hero, but that is a significant gap. That's like almost a 50% increase. Actually, it's more than 50% increase. That's a 100% increase from your Tracer to your Soldier, and from even your Ashe to your Soldier. So, makes sense? Just something to consider. Okay. And then last question here that I have. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? Your form says, I usually feel lost mid-fight. Usually don't know where to go, going back to that positioning, right? And I have trouble with routing movement mid-fight. Okay, again, positioning here. Elaborate a little bit on that.
A lot of times I end up just going main. Behind my tank, shooting whoever I see. Right.
And
like when I'm playing Tracer, I sometimes, depending on the map, I'll struggle to effectively flank.
Yep.
and get into a good position to do that. And then my pulse bombs on Tracer are really lacking, and I've been
Right.
practicing those
Okay.
since these VODs.
Well,
Don't rip me too hard.
I won. I'm glad to hear it. I guess here's my question though. When you talk about just going main because you don't know where to go, we need to break that habit, right? Because hopefully after this session we have a better idea of what to look for. But honestly, you're still going to go into the majority of your games and not know where to go after the session.
I know.
Right? So like we could give you some base rules that you can apply anywhere, but until you actually start forcing yourself to try and experiment a little bit, then you're really not going to improve more, right? So if you don't know where to go, that doesn't mean that you play in main. Now, if you purposefully choose main after thinking about the situation and go, this is the best spot, then I'm okay with that, right? But you have to be comfortable with like trying things, right?
You'll see it a lot in the Circuit Royale code I have. I think it's the for the first 2 points, it's just main.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there isn't a lot with Circuit, so maybe I cut you some more slack on Circuit, but I don't know. I don't want that to be the thing, and especially now you're at a really, really dangerous point in your quote-unquote career because you just hit Masters, right? What's the danger?
Yeah. Dropping out of Masters, get demoralized.
Right. And the other danger is that you're too scared to drop out of Masters, so you don't change. You're scared to experiment. You're scared to gamble, right? Keep gambling, right? Never stop gambling. You're always one roll of the dice away from being a billionaire. You just don't even know it, right? But seriously, like you need to not be married to that Masters 5. You hit the rank, congratulations, pat yourself on the back, but you need to be willing to gamble that SR if you're going to ever get the GM. Otherwise, yeah, you can play main and sit right happily in Masters. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? Anything else that you feel is holding you back from improving?
Nothing in particular. At least nothing I want to get into now.
Okay, sounds good. Is the first code the King's Row code fine to start with, or do you have a preference?
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sounds good. Let's so Masters, hit scan, roll out Widow, take a pot shot. It's a fun little strat. Gets you some free space. Obviously, any ult charge that you gain carries over anyway, so.
And then I've been trying to prioritize taking flanks like on the left and right side. You'll see me do it here. And
what's the problem about taking a flank on left? Right. I was gonna ask you, what's the problem about taking the flank on the left side?
The left side is really closed in, and there's the chance for them to just spam me out and maybe even get a kill on me.
Right. Do you see the DPS line?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good. Now that being said, that DPS line is more vulnerable to a different type of position. You tell me.
High ground on right side.
Right. They don't have the range that you have. Cast Torb do have a little bit of range. They're not Tracer Reaper, but they are slow, and you are better range than them. So that just tells you right now, go here, take this position, or if you can, this position here. A little bit better cover, right?
Okay.
Dominant. Absolute. If you time this one well, absolutely oppressive position for you.
If I remember correctly, I do that later, but it's like second or third fight.
Now you can shoot here, you just can't stay, which is exactly what you do. Stuck.
I'm just out because the Zen's
and
out.
bam.
Yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna pull a tricky one on you.
Alright.
That cast is a Widowmaker. What do you do?
I still peek the Baptiste. Do I know it's a Widow at this point?
Yes. Well, I should hope so. It's 18 seconds in.
Okay. Well, okay, yeah. Yeah, I still peek the Baptiste, but I don't do the re-peek I do onto the Ana.
Right. And maybe this flank as a whole becomes a little bit more attractive. Because you certainly couldn't be here versus a Widowmaker, right?
Yeah.
Well, what if you could go here? And maybe you could actually rotate on top of her, Maybe, right? Do you see how this kind of like...
Maybe. Depends on where she's playing, though.
Sure, it does. Do you see how this kind of changes? Depends on the situation. This is why you need to be putting thought into it, right? Because it is hard. Like, I'm giving you a hard time, but it is difficult, right? Okay. You did create a lot of space, though. See, even here...
I think this is where, after we reset, I go back to the right side.
Okay. Honestly, you could just rotate now, honestly, and just sit here and wait for your Ryan to come out, because they're not going to push you. They don't have dive, so they're not going to be able to catch you.
I'm not quite sure what I was worried about.
That's all right. Now go, 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 go. Run, 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 run. This was
out and just go here instead.
Well, right, but at least this is better, right? You do have a little bit of an angle and a longer sight line, right? This isn't horrible. You got good cover here too, right?
Yeah.
Like you're putting on good damage. I just would prefer high because it's just a little bit easier to shoot backline, right? Just feels a little bit better, right? He has to do this. You know what I'm saying? He has to do this. If he doesn't do this, they just lose, right? So then your ability to outbrain this, anticipate, predict, react is going to be how you win this fight. You know? This is good.
Yeah.
Let's see how we do. Not great, but at least the sticky is down, and now you can push him, and now he has to leave. You see that? So as long as he's out, go right back and you shoot again. I mean, do you see how, like, look at this, look at your screen here. This is a little bit of a, oh no, shoot, I can't see anything. But also, look at the enemy team. Everybody is trying to avoid you. Everybody's hiding from you, right? So even if you didn't adjust your positioning here and you're a little bit dense and you just stayed here, you still would be getting latent value by just I don't know if the term's latent is right, but you just be getting passive value by just sitting here, right? Just by sitting here, just because everybody has to play around it, right? So I wouldn't stay necessarily. Maybe I'd try and rotate right. Okay, now we can stay. But you see how
I stayed here because I had visor and I knew that I would just be able to melt anyone who decides to peek it.
No.
Yeah.
Only drop if you're like for sure that kill's not going to happen if I drop. But the problem here is you drop and then you really just don't even go for the kill. You just kind of stand here.
Yeah, now let that happen. Yeah.
Karma is sweet, my friend. But yeah, if you're gonna drop, just go balls to the wall, man. Get these guys out. Like you punish them, smash. If you're gonna drop, make it happen. You know.
Yeah.
That's great. But yeah, you legitimately carried that. You legitimately carried that point. Legitimately.
A lot of the things I mess up are just stupid mistakes like that get me immediately punished.
Right. Well, let's keep an eye out because we want to find. It may be a mental problem, like psychologically, like I have a tendency to lose focus when things, or I get stressed, right? Or it might just be that you just don't prioritize these positions enough, and it's not that deep. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not even a mental issue. Maybe it's just a lack of understanding.
I've always been the type to aim my problems away.
Yeah. I will say this. This is a little dense. You're like standing here and this torp is like lobbing. I'm like, dude, you are gonna die. You're gonna die. Like, ah! Somebody was saying the other day the Cheetos.
There and I started moving again.
Oh my gosh. See, like, okay, here's the other thing about their composition. Like, they don't match your range, right? What else do they really, really, really lack?
Any kind of real flank control, I guess.
Yeah.
Turret.
What does flank control mean? Who has flank control? Who has flank control?
I'd say someone like Tracer.
Okay, who else has flank control?
Genji.
Okay, what do all those heroes have in common?
They're typically more close range.
Yeah, and?
High mobility?
Yeah, high mobility, right? There's a big mobility gap between you and the enemy team, right? So, is this where you want to be?
Probably not.
I wonder. You know, I don't think there is a rule from where you should play here, right? So this is where you're going to have to practice.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Again, later on, I take that flank on the right side of your screen, way off on the left side of point.
Yeah, that would be my first guess.
I could maybe play in the alley on the right, but just play from more range. Or not here, the other side. I meant like my right.
Like here?
I could play from here, but it's a bit more risky with the Torb up there, and I know the Ana's there too.
Yeah. I like controlling this side of the map from what you're saying here, and then just kind of seeing what happens, because we don't really know where they're going just yet either. So maybe just sniff around here, you know, and nobody's going to be able to touch you. There just isn't anybody that's going to be able to touch you, right? So that's what makes Soldier such a beautiful hero, is the fact that he's so mid. You actually have to change how you play drastically. We've just seen Soldier Sniper, right? Now we're going to see Soldier Tracer. And then versus Sniper comps, we'll see Soldier Reaper, right? You know, so it's like it's being able to make those reads, right?
Okay.
But this is
Yeah, I think
Horrendous.
the more I watch this, the more I realize I just kind of go no brain when a fight's not happening.
It's
I
all
need
it's all in the
to-
investment, right? It's like
Yeah.
what you're doing between those fights or leading up to those fights, thinking ahead of time, right?
I'm just seeing this here. I could have been on the other side of the Rhine shooting from behind him.
Yeah, exactly. Shooting back here, and then you would
Been here,
create right.
yeah.
You would have created space, and then force them back, and then you can retake high ground up here and sit and hide and listen, right? And then if you start to hear Cassie running after you, you run away and you take a different angle and all that kind of stuff. So like, let's see. Yep. Now just listen, right? What are you listening for right now?
When they're moving up,
Yeah,
I guess when they use utility.
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I kind of preemptively take a shot.
Yeah. I think
waited.
I think a little bit of this is, I think you hear the nano in your Reinhardt, maybe? I'll cut you some slack. But the problem here is something very, very tragic happened on our screen. Watch this. Oh no! Because like, if he's able to stay, maybe this works. But yeah, this is a disaster. And I think you need to be aware of this, right? Like, okay, they're all putting their attention on me, and to be really careful. I don't even know. Oh dear.
Oh.
I would be very careful about even walking forward this close, right? Just, you need information. You need to be careful. Oh, ah!
That was interesting.
Run,
This
run,
fight
run.
was very strange. We traded back fights.
Yeah. But see, this is where your hero excels, right? Being able to quickly adjust, self-sustain, run away, win duels, right? So, you did a lot that fight. Ooh, almost got him. And, you know, the funny thing is, look at the hero swap that they make.
Yeah, the junk.
Same crap, right? Exact same thing. Exact same thing. Nothing can touch you at range. Nothing can touch you on the flanks. If you know where he is, they're cooked. Where should you be?
Probably directly on above where I am now,
Right,
on that
right.
rafter.
This is probably okay. Maybe even this position here is okay as well. I don't actually hate this angle here, right? You could, and then as they push up, you could back up to like here, right? And just spam, and you would control this flank too, right? So I don't hate your positioning. I think it's okay.
Pretty sure my thought process here was Ryan is just wasting his shield, so he's going to have half shield going into the fight.
Sure,
I think that was my main thought
Right,
process.
and you've got the range on them, right? You're playing to this one of your strengths, right?
Yeah. I was thinking about going on the flank, then Ryan shattered.
Yeah. What would be risky about going on the flank?
Junkrat.
Right. Do you know where he is?
I can see him shooting from main,
Right.
but or shooting somewhere from main.
So theoretically, yes, you can go on the flank here, but how long can you stay? Same thing as hotel, right?
Not long.
Right. Launch a couple of shots, helix, and then run for your life, right?
Yep.
Doesn't mean that you can't flank. You just need to know the risks involved. Very nice. We really got good value out of our range here, right? We didn't need to flank necessarily. We just needed to beat the crap out of them as they walk forward, and it worked nicely, right?
Yep. At this point, that Kiriko tormented us. She was just heal botting on high ground, and we could not kill her.
I would stay where you're at, honestly. Just keep spamming. Because Ryan shield damage is good, but you know it's even better?
Torb damage.
Torb damage, or Junkrat damage, or Kiriko damage, you know?
Yep.
Better pressure overall. Shield is fine when there's nothing else to shoot. Right here,
I
right?
realized the Torb was there soon, but
Yeah.
not soon enough.
And that's fine, he's out. Good. I might even just Visor this now, just for pressure, you know what I'm saying? Find a kill. Ryan clears you out. Now this is tough. Right? Where are you supposed to position now?
I genuinely don't know.
I don't either. There isn't a position to hold. There really isn't. There's no flank, there's no angle. The best thing to do is pick a nice juicy sightline and just blow the visor, to be honest with you. Pick a target. Right? Pick one target. Who would that be? Probably.
Probably the Kiriko or Junkrat.
Probably Kiriko or Junkrat, right? Force them out, clear space, see what happens. Like even that Torb, right?
Yeah. I have a worry about having holding. I woke asleep.
Yeah. Well, okay, not the end of the world, but where should you hold here positioning wise? I'm asking the same question again, basically. Do we have more options here?
Yeah, definitely. I could definitely be taking the left flank here.
Right. High risk, high reward, though, right? It has to be
Yeah, because the
quick.
Junkrat is
It
right
has
there.
to be quick, right? It's not a long sight line, so it has to be quick and probably with visor.
Yep.
Oof.
I wanted to back out here, but I got nanoed, so I figured I should pop visor.
Yeah.
Was that the right play, or should I have done something different?
I think it was okay, but you needed to play with a little bit more aggression.
Okay.
So right here, as soon as he starts to back off, I want you walking forward and trying to get these guys. Like, these guys need to die. Like, we can't blow nano visor and not get kills out of it, honestly.
Yep.
Like, right now, I know the tire is concerning, but like, walk.
I'm somewhat blaming our Zen for pinging up there so frequently.
Gotcha. Stop
I'm
shooting
not
the
gonna-
Rhine. Stop shooting the Rhine.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, there you go, right?
Yeah.
And now the Rhine's isolated. The Rhine dies. Surely. This is good pressure. I mean, there's just not a lot you can do here, to be honest with you. As long as you just keep lasering down main and just shooting squishies when you can, and not completely wasting your abilities, which I think you're doing an okay job of, then there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Oh, massive. Maybe massive.
I don't even think we get anything out of it, though.
Yeah, nice job. Nice. Yee! Shoot behind shield. Shoot behind shield if you can. Shoot behind shield. You're crazy. You're crazy.
Best player in the game down.
Oh, that's right. The real carry. Stop shooting the Rhine shield!
Yeah.
Killing me. There's just like there's other targets available. You know.
This is what I mean by I just kind of default down main and shoot at the biggest thing on my screen. That's my biggest habit I need to break, and I notice I do it quite frequently.
Honestly, there hasn't been any great positions. I think we can definitely argue that you could have gone for some high risk, high reward flanks on the left. That probably is your best bet here. Probably is your best bet is to take more of those windows when you could have gone for those flanks. But really, besides that, you just needed to shoot non-Rhine shield whenever we can, because you're putting out a lot of pressure on Rhine shield. But what's happening, right? Nothing's happening, right? It's the biggest return on investment to shoot something other than a Rhine shield, unless there's nothing else to shoot.
I do not mean to emote here. I fat fingered my 6-3 somehow.
A likely story.
If I'm gonna emote, I'm not gonna use default emote.
Nice. Clear that
Try to
position.
boop him off high ground.
Yeah, and there you go. Uh-oh. No!
Yeah.
No!
You didn't even see me trying to get up here.
No! I mean, I guess just the mentality of trying to avoid Rhino. I think it's a little bit unfortunate. I think you just beefed it mechanically. I think you have the right intention. It's just bad. You just messed up your movement. That's all.
Yeah.
Nano Visor is like unstoppable when you have a position for it. Like, you know, it's good when literal, and I remember in Overwatch League when Soldier was good earlier in like stage 1 and stuff. Nano Visor, there was no counter to it. Like, you just lost to Nano Visor. It was hilarious because Visor is like so bad, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, no more off tank. You know, like, Yep.
The first and only time I end up doing this, because I think this actually wins the game.
And I get so happy too, because check this out. You kind of mess up mechanically here, and then you're like, oh, Ryan. Then you're like, wait, no. No. Yes. Then we shoot Ryan.
Me and Bastion are just pinching him, so I figured I'd help him out. Then I try to chase them. I don't know why they let me get away with this for as long as I did.
This is about as dense as you can get.
Yeah.
You walk the flank. It's not a flank when you're walking directly at the enemy team. I think here probably playing further back or running up to like this position here, where there's at least a little bit of a gap. You know, has to be better. This is wild.
They just let me get away with it too, which is the crazy thing.
I mean, if you could stay here, this position rocks. I don't know why you ran away. I don't know why you ran away. If they just ignore you, just stay. You know. Okay. All right. What do you sing so far? What needs to be practiced?
I'm kind of just going brain dead, shooting Reinhardt.
Right.
That's my biggest thing so far.
Priority, big issue. What about your positioning?
Again, I'm just defaulting to main, not taking any really actually risky or effective flanks.
Well, positioning is an issue, right? But what skill do you need to develop with your position?
Really don't know.
Well, think about when we were talking about first point, when we were talking about second point, some of our pitfalls with third point. What were the factors that we were considering when considering how to position, how to rotate mid fight, or even early fight?
Sightlines
Sightlines.
versus certain comps.
Yeah, yeah. Consider enemy comp, right? And remember when we were on second point and we said, you're just sitting on robot, shooting the torp turret,
Yeah.
right? What did you need to be doing at that point in time besides sit and think about torp turret?
Taking angles,
Right.
doing anything else even.
Think about positioning pre-fight. You don't do that enough.
Okay.
You have the right idea with a lot of things, right? And you can even see it happen. You eventually figure out where you need to play, right? It happened on first, second, and third point. You eventually took the right spot, right?
It just takes too long.
It just takes too long.
I'm feeling that's the issue. Yeah, pre-fight.
Right. When you're in the middle of a fight, that's not time to. It's hard because the irony here is that you're prioritizing. I need to think more about my mid-fight rotations and mid-fight positioning. But I actually, at least from this little segment, that wasn't the biggest issue. It was pre-fight. You were doing nothing, so you started in bad spots consistently.
Okay.
Mid-fight rotations are hard because that's when you're fighting and thinking about positioning at the same time. So let's just do this one step at a time. Let's actually get you in the right spot to begin with. Because you're not doing anything during that period of time anyway, right? You might as well be thinking about positioning. Unless you're emoting. Right? So, okay. Do you want to keep looking at Soldier?
I swear.
Yeah, sure. Like I do that all the time. I did that one time mid-fight as Reinhardt. It was humiliating. It was really bad. Do you want to look at any more Soldier or do you want to keep moving on?
We could probably just move past Soldier. Later in the VOD, I think I go Tracer.
Okay.
If you want to keep on this one.
Okay, sounds good. Now, the reason why I'm so adamant about these things is if you look at what we talked about with Soldier, that's not just Soldier, is it?
Yeah, it applies to everyone.
It applies to everybody. It applies to everybody. And the reason why it's so important for Hitscan specifically is you think about Ashe, Soldier, and Tracer, all have different mobility levels, right? Yeah. All have different range levels. Ashe is the lowest mobility, highest range. Tracer's the highest mobility, lowest range. Do you see that? So if you're not, if you're just kind of autopiloting, you may not be able to make those adjustments, especially if you swap very well. You got to keep your brain on. Okay, let's look at some Tracer.
One thing I want to say. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, ironically, you swapped the Tracer in one of the worst Tracer points in the entire game.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I would definitely pick Ashe here, just given the sightlines and like the lack of flanks, right? Makes it very difficult to play Tracer, but we can still work with it. You were gonna say something.
Go easy on my pulse bombs. I have been practicing them lately.
Yes, that's okay. I hear you, but I'm not listening. So.
Okay.
Yes. Just so we're clear on that. Their divas. Oh, jeez. Okay. Their divas end, so I guess this is okay timing. This flank is probably about as good as you're gonna get, but yeah.
I was mostly playing around and in that room, just playing around the mega and trying to force out utility from their supports.
That's gonna be the way to play. The only problem here is what?
I shot the diva for some reason.
Well, no, because you do fine damage from diva when she's not looking at you, right?
I guess, yeah.
But then what's gonna happen when she immediately turns her head?
I'm going to take a lot of damage.
Right, and then the Symmetra also peeks here and launches a right click at your head, so just be careful.
I realized it was nanoed up too late.
Yeah. It's okay.
Especially mid-ult nano Bastion, which is questionable.
Yeah. That's the nano diva bomb right there.
Yeah. I think I get one more in this section.
Respectfully, I think your Tracer is fun. I think you actually carry this fight. I think you played a really good position. Your timing was really good. You're pressuring the right targets. I think your movement was a little clunky. You need a little more practice with this hero.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think this is okay. I think you played well.
Okay.
Love those abilities.
Yeah, they're fun to play.
This is cute. This is cute. Love to see it.
I feel like my positioning is unironically my best on Tracer.
That is a little bit strange. It's probably because you're thinking about it more. Because it's harder. Because it's harder, you think about it more, and therefore it's actually better. Isn't that weird, right? It's like you play your worst when you're not trying, right? Even if it's on a hero that you're good at, right? So like sometimes you can play better on heroes that you're not as good at because you're actually like forcing yourself to focus, right? Now, I will say this. Where's your team right now?
I probably should still be hiding. Because they're all about to push in.
So your team is fighting here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so something to note. This will work. Why?
Because the Baptiste is isolated.
And what's happening here?
A lot of utilities going out.
Yeah, people are actually fighting here. But so make sure that you're doing this on purpose. The number one thing tracers have to work on is timing. Number one thing, even more important than positioning. So because you're so mobile, right? You could go in whenever you want, but you don't want to.
Yeah. Also beef this recall. I don't know why I did that.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of your mistakes with tracers so far are just from whether it's the pulses or that recall right there is honestly just reps, right? It's just goofy errors that I don't need or I can't really coach. You just need to practice more and stop making those stupid errors. Yep. Out. Yep.
I go back to harassing the Baptiste.
Yep. Uh-oh. Whole gang's here.
Yeah. It kind of confused me.
Yeah, I just think your tracer is fine. In terms of like your positioning setup so far. Yeah. You're just not as good mechanically. You just need more practice mechanically. Do we get any more tracer? We get a little bit of Ashe.
No,
let's stay in the tracer train. Let's get your next code here.
Okay.
Do you play tracer in this code?
Yes.
Okay, let's stay in the tracer.
I play a little bit of everyone in this one, actually.
Where is this code? Where did it go? 1XZ?
Did I type it?
Maybe you typed it wrong. I don't see it. It's not
1XZYDY.
Ah, YDY.
What did I type it wrong? Oh, whoops.
Man, I'll tell you what. Okay, Circuit Royale. Yeah. So let's look at some tracer.
I believe I got tracer on their attack half, or on their yeah. So halfway through.
You're the spawn Pharah guy.
Oh yeah, I just wrote.
Real chat's run around in Torbjorn.
No, I have the most playtime on Pharah I have is just destroying spawn rooms.
Got it.
So
got it. Respectable. Okay, let's see. Why did you go tracer?
They were playing a comp that I felt tracer would be good into, like the Widow Ana,
sure,
especially with a Mercy.
Yeah,
I felt like I'd be able to put good pressure on it.
Mm-hmm. What's the difficult thing with tracer and circuit?
Range.
Uh-huh. Not a lot of
taking
flanks.
Good. Yeah.
This is okay, but I wonder if when this happens, you should turn your attention to controlling backline.
Okay.
Your hero feels a little bit better at that, right?
Okay.
So you can do damage to Winston, but you could also just prevent the follow-up from the rest of his team a little bit, right? Just think about your matchups. Okay. Just think about your matchups. If you're a Reaper or a Bastion, different story. The other risk here as well is what's the risk with what you're doing right now?
Winston can zap through his shield.
Right.
He has the shield.
Is Widow aiming at you right now?
Actually, she might be, yeah.
Genji, Ana, you know? You don't know, do you?
No, I don't.
You need to keep your threats on your screen. Let's see.
Okay.
Right? We don't see this. We can't see this. So just something to keep in mind. You're a flanker. Sometimes if the tank way overextends, or if you're on a flank and the flanker runs into you. What is happening on our screen? I swear, this replay viewer is so bugged. But yeah, think about playing to your strengths.
Okay.
I would also consider, this is something that you need to get in a habit to as Tracer. Think about moving from cover to cover. You don't want to be here, obviously, so you blink again.
Yeah.
But then this is a problem because you don't have cover, so then you actually probably had a blink to disengage and play inside here, right at the end there. But then you get your recall force because you get nervous, right?
Yeah.
What could you have done instead?
I probably could have gone maybe towards the statue.
Yep. Or even this little
And
frame
then-
here. You know, blink here.
I would think I was just worried about the Widow like bodying me and forcing my recall really early.
Sure. I respect it. I understand. But just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind. Because even here, you should be thinking, where's my coverage that I can rotate to?
Okay.
Because we as Tracer want to maximize our uptime. We do not want to be double blinking in, then recalling out. That's a really, really, really bad habit that we have to avoid. There's the Tracer. Oh, you're gonna get the skill, I just know it.
Nah, I actually don't.
Ah,
Yana goes back and helps her.
that's okay.
Now they swapped off Widow onto Tracer.
Oh,
I still killed Yana somehow.
because it was well timed. Look at you, you're doing a great job. There's something happening. You were in a good position. You used your blinks well. You whiffed the pulse, but you timed it well. Nice job. Good job. Done. Your Tracer's not too bad. It's not too shabby. Your tracking is also not too shabby either. Your movement's not great.
Yeah.
This is trolling.
Yep. I realized where my team was. You just saw me leaving the room, and I'm heading back to my team right now because I didn't realize we were playing that far back.
You're down one, so you have to. So optimally, if you had time to position, where would you play?
Definitely on the high ground left side, waiting for someone to come up there.
Right. That's it. Control the flank here. Okay.
He started standing still.
Uh-oh.
I thought I could kill him.
But you can see how this becomes a problem from your initial starting positioning, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Yep. Just be careful because you didn't have recall, right?
Yep.
Case in point.
I get res here though, so don't skip too far ahead.
Ooh. Also worth keeping in mind, I believe that Brooks can one-shot combo you now.
Oh really? I actually did not know that. Okay.
Let me show you. I'm actually not 100% sure, but I am fairly certain. So it's swing, bash, whip shot.
Okay.
It's very hard to pull off, probably as I'm about to embarrass myself trying to do it. But let's get this guy low. That should be it right here. So right there. You see how fast that was? Yeah, so 1, 2, and then right there.
Okay.
So they can animation cancel stuff really fast. So if you're here, it's just... Well, I missed the initial swing, but you get the idea. Let me wait for a respawn.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Right there. So be very careful. And if you're a better brig than I am, you could probably do it even faster. So just be careful.
Okay. I did not know that. I also underestimated the Inspire healing, which is why I punched her 3 times.
Yeah. Where are we at? Okay, there we go. So just keep that one in mind when it comes to movement around here, because if she starts to like swing on you, and you maintain staying in front of her, she's gonna get you. She's gonna get you.
Okay.
And even if she doesn't get you, like just being able to hit your whip shot on a Tracer is like a big deal, right? So.
Okay.
Okay. Ha! There you go. We're cruising.
This pulse bomb is really egregious. This one that's coming up.
I think my major problem with this one, not major problem with this one, you just need to be a little bit cautious about how fast you're in right now. Because you can see it right here. What's stopping this Winston from diving right now? Or what's preventing him from not diving?
My team?
Right. From diving. Right. So if this Winston, this Brig, this Tracer are attentive, they would just sit and they wouldn't do anything. And they just clear you out, maybe kill you, and then dive a second later. So this is just like exploiting a little bit of a lack of awareness on the enemy front line, but we don't want to rely on that. You know what I'm saying? Like even this Brig is just completely asleep at the wheel. But you're obviously at your rank, they're not going to be consistently asleep at the wheel. They will wake up occasionally, and those plays are going to feel horrible, right? Like even this, like, what's the problem here? Why are we recalling?
Probably just bad habit.
Right.
I don't have a good reason for it.
You don't have good cover, and you do have 2 blinks still available, even though your cover isn't that good. There's absolutely no reason for this recall whatsoever.
Yeah.
So we're all like, the pulse bomb sucks, but actually I'm not concerned about the pulse bomb. Like you said, it'll come with time and practice. I'm more concerned about your recall habit and how we're not playing around your blinks properly. And to me, this is definitely something you could be focusing on, but it also screams an experience as well.
Yeah.
Because you should have like...
I've only... Good.
Go ahead. I was going to say, you should have like an internal timer of like knowing how many blinks that you have almost without even thinking, right? You just don't have enough reps in the hero.
Yeah. I only picked up Tracer relatively recently, like halfway through last season.
Yep.
I've just been playing her on and off since. I just find her really fun.
Yeah. You're not doing bad in terms of tracking and like what you should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Also, with a few exceptions, you're playing the hero quote unquote correctly. This is silly. You're playing the hero correctly. The harassing backline, your timing is usually okay. It's not great, but it's okay. But you're mechanically, like with how you're handling your recall, how you're handling your pulse bombs, and how you're handling your blinks is not good. You look like a soldier player playing Tracer, respectfully. This is the problem. You kind of see this? Like, you just need to know, like, my team, we're just not engaged, right? They can do, you're like, why is this Winston jumping with me? Why not? What else is there to do right now, right? There's nothing, like, it's not terrible because your cast is a little forward and their tracer is in too, but it's not, we need a little bit more patience from you when your team isn't, like, actually engaged, because now, we'd love to be, like, fully in, but we don't have a recall. You see that? So this is fine, this is great, but I want your recall.
Yeah.
Nice. Like even this is like classic Tracer, noob Tracer right here. What is this?
Blinking into a wall.
Right. Just shoot the. Honest, he's not even looking at you.
I just have
also here. Like, that's noob Tracer, right? Why are we even shooting the Nano Monkey? Where's the Genji? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, okay.
I genuinely had no idea where the Genji was that entire fight.
Sure. So let's, what are you seeing with Tracer so far? We might have a couple fights in Ashe if we hurry. What are you seeing with Tracer?
Bad habits, definitely with my recall. And I blink just about every reload, which I could just duck into cover for.
Uh-huh. Focus and cover and min-maxing blinks. Those are kind of 2 in 1, and that's a very broad thing to practice, but just something to be aware of. What else are you seeing?
Again, bad target priority and bad timing.
Little bit. I wouldn't say it's bad.
I'm more on that fight. Just...
Yeah. Little bit of improvement on target priority and timing, but it was okay, you know. And then I think position was for the most part okay. Just keep in mind, where is my team positioning? Okay. Let's do you want to look at a little Ashe here, or do you want to go back in time? Okay.
Ashe beginning of the VOD.
Okay, let's check it. The nice thing is we don't have to go super in detail about mobility and range, because we've already talked so much about those with the other heroes. This should be just obvious, right?
Yeah.
They're on Widow. Don't peek the Widow at long range. Do peek the Widow in short sight lanes, you know? Like, even here, this is a little bit of ego, but I'm not completely against it, because you could almost one-shot her. You know what I'm saying? And if there's any sort of follow-up damage at this range, then she's going to die. So I'm not against this one, actually. Just be careful, right?
Yeah.
Now, if she moves further back...
I totally don't ego the Widow some more.
Right. Now, we have to be a little bit careful about egoing Widow.
Yeah.
I would even be very cautious about scoping into Dynamite here. You need to be able to hit that unscoped Dynamite, you know what I'm saying? So that you can move properly. And here, I would just avoid the Widow sightlines and see if I can get an angle on this Sigma, right? Just blow out the Sigma. Sigma backs up to here, then what do you do?
Just take high ground.
Right. Now you can rotate, and now you can close the distance in the sightlines again on the Widow, right? You always are working towards your end goal, right? So let's keep going. See, like right here, you're go ahead.
I was anticipating him moving backwards. I saw him use rock, so I figured that was a good opportunity to just go for high ground anyways, because our whole team is right behind me, and we could probably just take high ground because he has to hit like 4 of his orbs on me in order to actually kill me.
Maybe,
And I still have
maybe.
Coach Gun if I need to.
Maybe, but I don't see the rush here, you know? He's got full shield and essentially full HP, right? He also, yeah, he used rock, but you were moving up before he even used his rock. So just shoot him out first and then rotate. Because this is doing what you're doing right now is how you get traded, right? You rush things. You're frontlining now. So now we're fine because we've bypassed the Sigma, but just be careful. Dynamite. Ah, unlucky. Oh.
And I have a very similar issue as I do on Soldier. I don't have good target priority.
Right. Nice
I'm
shots.
not playing in a good position
Ooh, there you go.
Thank you.
I mean, you're putting out good damage, but then obviously, like, rotate.
Yep.
Now we're good. Now we can shoot wherever you want. Now we're shooting the Sigma because he's 1 HP, right?
Yeah. I should definitely be playing over by the statue, and this is what I mean by I default main.
Right.
Because I just fall back with these two.
Maybe. Now we should start rotating to right? I actually don't think this is that bad. You haven't had a lot of time to rotate just yet. Maybe this walking forward here was silly instead of rotating out right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think this is too bad. Maybe rushing things just a little bit. Wouldn't dynamite that. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but that's one habit maybe to break. Go back up top, I would say. Yep.
This was kind of silly as well. I don't know how I got away with this.
I mean, this is not only the spam of the mouse one there, but it's just silly, yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
This is horrible spot for you to be in.
Yep.
Okay. Walk. No. I mean, you know, okay. I guess because they've given up so much space, but I would be very, very cautious about this.
Okay.
I also don't think your bob angle is that good either. We go up top here. We swing wide. We start to spam again. The best bob position would be where?
I'd say probably right where their torb is.
Yep, exactly. Right here. Where's it going to end up? Right? Not great.
Yeah.
Not great. I think your positioning is why the bob ended up there.
Okay. And then
very careful. So you're running it down mid just a little too much. You're getting away with it, but just be very careful.
yeah.
It's a little bit of rushing. It's a little bit of just directly running at the enemy team.
Saw him do that a few times, so I figured I'd just try to wait and put more pressure on him.
Yeah.
Instead of taking a wider angle. Is that a good thing to do here?
This position here? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
just
fine.
waiting for the Mercy to jump.
Nice sight line. I mean, you're going to see people here, so yes, this is fine. I would even just stay here. I don't know why you peek back here. Just keep shooting. You know, there it is again, right? So just keep shooting.
Okay.
You could bypass Sigma and just bypass shield. Ah, GG's. Haha, hammer kill. Always
And a
delightful.
type hammer only torb right there.
Haha. Okay, not a lot you can do here now. Might as well break some shield. Good try. Zarya's up. Let's walk.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a Circuit Royale classic. It just feels horrible. You know, it just feels like there's no angle that you can take. So I think rotating this way makes the most sense. And then if you get the opportunity to, you can take this angle up here. Let's see what happens. Yep. Beautiful. Careful with the greed here. This is again how you get traded. I just don't see why. You need to preserve your life. You might actually die here. Oh, your Ana dies for you. Nice of her. The ultimate support. Questionable. You could walk up here, right? Like, leverage your range now. Now you need to be playing more aggressively.
Okay.
Your Kiriko doesn't like. Yeah, your Kiriko can beat card. You know, you need to not beat card. Not the fattest grab of all time. Nice. Use it. Nice. Perfectly placed bob. It feels bad to get that slept, but sometimes that's just how it's going to have to be. You can't wait for sleep dart every time. Theoretically, that could have hit the Winston, or that Winston. What am I saying? Could have hit the Mercy, right? So like, yeah, I think you're going to be fine. This is the stuff that annoys me though. This is a constant problem with you. What are you doing? What are you doing? Like hello? Like this keeps happening. We're like pressing W, and then even here you should be like, I'm the coach gun out, right? It took you like 2 seconds to do that. You should have died.
Yeah.
And you could even see the target priority here too. Like you're like, oh, it's Sigma. Yes. As soon as actually, you know what? This was fine. As soon as you snared, you did turn your attention. Nice. Oh no, he uses the flux. No.
Yeah, he fluxed there.
What? All right, let's watch one more fight. So far, I think our W King is a little bit concerning. I think we're just kind of turning brain off just a little bit.
It may or may not get worse in this next bit.
Okay. Oh,
and I may or may not get away with it.
Okay, this is greedy, but at least there's like logic behind here, right? Yes. Yeah. This is good. This is great. Now, just play Kovacs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you got a pocket with you, just play Kovacs. Yeah.
I get a little too aggro here.
All right.
I play up here and I get punished for it.
Well, they're on Genji now, right? So you need to be careful how isolated you are. I promise you don't know that they're on Genji. I just promise you.
100%. Zero clue.
Contender skin. Oh, dear. Nice. Back off. You're dead. Yeah. Just a little bit.
You saw me look at the floor for a coach gun too.
Yeah. I lied. Well, let's watch a little more.
I may or may not do the same play again with Bob. And
well, see, it's like, remember the soldier thing? Where we talked about the angles that you take depend on the enemy composition, and how you going hyper aggressive the previous fight worked really, really well until they went to Genji. And even now that they're on soldier, you might actually have to be careful, because if that guy walks up on top of you, you don't win that 1v1, right? So that means that the long sight lines, though, are completely uncontested. So even if you do want to flank here, I'm not saying don't flank, but this is the kind of flank that you want. You force them out, then you take this position here, but you're listening for this flank again, right? So let's see. So, and also if you have Bob as well, right? That opens up flank opportunities, because you could beat a Genji in a short 1v1 if you have Bob, right?
Yeah.
Right, nice.
This is where I get too greedy. I expected him to fall back way more.
Yeah. Just a little too greedy, and it's also a little unfortunate that your team lost to at the exact same time. Okay, so what are you seeing with your Ashe so far? We didn't watch as much of Ashe, but what is a goal that we can work on?
I'm too aggressive.
Well, okay, I don't like that. I think that sometimes you're almost too defensive, right? Sometimes you're too aggressive. In what way are you too aggressive? It's not about aggressive. It's about silliness, right? What mistakes?
Yeah. I just disrespect the tank.
Yeah.
I play really bad spots when I'm playing aggro, and I don't take into consideration the enemy composition or even just individual people on the enemy team.
Mm-hmm. That's how I'd put it. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like you just kind of W key regardless of the situation, and I think that could be done a little bit better. Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't really have much.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Yeah, we talked about a lot of different things, but I think the big priority for you is going to be about trying to stress test a little bit, like with your training schedule, how you can be efficient with it, right? And then obviously when you are in game, you have a couple of things to work on with each hero. So if you do have any questions, let me know in the future. My DM